Hello guys, today's story is not about celebrities, but about crime stories because recently I have been posting stories about celebrities. We have to change that, so before we start, like, subscribe, and don't forget to check out Billie Eilish's story. Our story begins in 1965 when Carol Lynn Sullivan was born in Seminole County, Florida. The Sullivan family moved to Longwood, Florida, where Carol spent most of her childhood. On July 4, 1978, the family moved again to Austin, Florida, in search of a new life and better opportunities. School life and young Carol. Carol, age 12, began attending Delton Middle School in August 1978. Carol was a hardworking student and well-liked by her classmates and teachers. Friendships and hobbies. Carol enjoyed drawing and reading, and was an active member of the school's sports team. She loved spending time with her friends and family, and was known for her constant smile and cheerful spirit. On September 20, 1978, Carol woke up as usual to go to school. Carol refused to be taken to the bus stop and decided to walk instead. She left home at 6:55 a.m. and did not return. Reporting her absence when Carol did not arrive at school, the school contacted Carol's mother, Susan, who immediately began searching for her with the help of neighbors. Family and community efforts. Neighbors and volunteers participated in the search for Carol in the surrounding areas, including nearby woods and lakes. The search continued for several days without finding any trace of her. Police support. Local police joined the effort, searching the area and using trained dogs, but to no avail. On October 2, 1978, while on a recreational trip, Bob Gorman found a human skull in a paint can near Lake St. John. Using dental records, he confirmed that the skull was Carol's. The skull was in relatively good condition, which helped in its quick identification. The condition of the skull showed that Carol had been hit on the head and that tissue had been removed by boiling or cutting, indicating that the crime was brutal. Skull analysis showed that Carol had been hit on the head and that tissue had been removed by unconventional methods, such as boiling or cutting. A red truck was found at the scene, but no direct connection to Carol's murder was established. Several migrant workers from Michigan who had worked in the area were also questioned, but no evidence was found to incriminate them. Further investigation. Police interviewed several people who were in the area at the time of Carol's disappearance, including bus drivers and construction workers, but no leads were found to lead to the perpetrator. Now let's leave Carol's case for a moment. Tammy Lynn Pera. On August 21, 1978, Tammy Lynn Pera, 13, of Conklin, Michigan, disappeared while riding her bicycle on her way home from a nearby store. Her family found her abandoned bicycle on the side of Wilson Road, near their rural home in Chester Township. Police found her clothes scattered on the side of a rural road a few days later. 9 days later, they recovered her naked body in a rural area 15 miles from her home. She had been strangled. The FBI was tipped off about two Florida-based migrant workers, Thomas K. Nelson, 31, and James Nur Muhammad, 18, of Muskegon, Michigan, were wanted in connection with Tammy's disappearance after they left the area suddenly following the discovery of her clothes, which had been found a mile from the farm in Conklin where the two men lived. They were seen at the same store that Tammy visited before her abduction. Investigators entered the names of both men into the National Law Enforcement Information Network. Nelson was arrested in St. Petersburg, Florida, on September 7, 1978, 13 days before Carol Lane disappeared, on a federal fugitive warrant issued after state police said they wanted to question him about Tammy's murder. However, Muhammad fled but was arrested on charges of illegally crossing a street in Los Angeles on September 25, 1978. Muhammad had been in Volusia, Lake, and Orange counties in Florida when Carol Lane disappeared. Muhammad and Nelson were seen together in Daytona Beach and separated there. Juries found both men guilty of Tammy's murder, despite their denials of involvement, and the judge sentenced them to life in prison without parole. Muhammad is currently in Muskegon Correctional Facility. Nelson is not listed among Michigan's inmates, either in custody or released, suggesting he may have died. It's unclear what happened to him, but Florida investigators have been unable to link Muhammad to Carol Lane's kidnapping and murder. About 3 years after Carol Lane's murder, 6-year-old Adam Walsh disappeared from a Hollywood shopping mall. His head was found in a roadside canal near Vero Beach on August 10, 1981. Since his death involved decapitation like Carol Lane's, investigators looked for a possible link in October 1983, after Otis Edward Toole confessed to killing Adam. Toole gave several accounts of how he kidnapped and killed Adam, but in 2008, 12 years after Toole's death, police closed the case. What shocked everyone was that John Walsh and his wife, Reeve, believed it all, even though there was no physical evidence or witness testimony pointing to Toole as their son's killer. Furthermore, Toole and fellow killer Henry Lee Lucas bragged about a number of killings they didn't commit. While investigators in the Adams case claimed they could place both men in Florida in 1978, authorities in Volusia County were unable to prove that Toole was in their county when Carol Lynn was kidnapped. Carl Brandt, the suspect, had an extensive criminal history. In 2004, Seminole County resident Carl Brandt, 47, brutally murdered his wife Teresa Brandt, 46, and her niece, Michelle Lynn Jones, 37, on September 13, 2004. Just 2 days earlier, Carl and Teresa had fled their Big Pine Key home during Hurricane Ivan and moved in with Michelle. Police found Teresa's body slumped on a couch in the living room, wearing only a t-shirt. She had been stabbed multiple times and had defensive wounds on her hands as she tried to defend herself from her husband's violent attack. Michelle was found in the master bedroom, and the scene was even more gruesome. Brandt had decapitated her and stabbed her multiple times. After the murders, he changed his clothes and took his own life. Investigators determined that the killer who committed Michelle's murder had committed murder before by the surgical nature of how he mutilated her body and removed her limbs after killing her. 1978. However, they found no evidence linking him to the crime. Shortly after Carol Lynn's remains were identified, her father, mother, and siblings moved away from the area. Police are still investigating Carol Lynn's murder. DNA may help solve the case. However, it is unclear if they have any evidence to test. The Carol Lynn Sullivan case is one of the most mysterious cases that has never been fully solved, with many theories and suspicions about those involved in her crime. The case had a profound impact on her community and led to increased child safety awareness efforts. The family and investigators remain hopeful that justice will be served for Carol in the future, and her story remains a constant reminder of the importance of protecting children. And here we have reached the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to watch Billie Eilish's story. You will like it very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.